Good evening. I'm Bronwyn, your host for Black Mental Health is Black Health, and we're here with another exciting topic and exciting guest. But you know what we do. We've got to take a few deep breaths first. It's the end of the day. Maybe you need a moment to regroup, take in some deep breaths, and allow your brain, your body to calm down. So here's how we do it. I'll count to four very slowly and say breathe in. Then I'll say out and breathe out. And we're going to take three deep cleansing breaths. Let's get started. Breathe in, two, three, four. Out, two, three, four. In, two, three, four. Out, two, three, four. One more. In, two, three, four. Out, two, three, four.
Ooh, that was good.
I was just about to ask, how did that feel for you?
That feel good. That
You know,
feel good.
I always say we can just stop and take a few deep breaths. It can change your life because sometimes
Yes.
you might be angry and breathing might keep your mouth closed.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of good benefits from that deep breathing. So I always like to start off with my guests saying, tell us who you are and tell us something cool about yourself.
Hey, 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 beautiful souls. I am Ariska Scott, Coach Ariska Scott, Coach Risk, your selfish coach. And I'm the owner, founder, and CEO of A Bountiful Solution, a personal development organization where I help women get selfish. What's selfish? I help women surrender, elevate, lead, and flourish in life and business by overcoming self sabotaging behaviors that disrupt their lives and their business. So that's who I am, and that's what I do. And one fun fact about me, I'm a tomboy. I like monster trucks.
Okay. Do you ever go into those monster truck rally things?
Yes, 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 yes.
Boy,
I
it
love
is
them.
pretty fast.
I
I
love
like
them.
that. And it shows, as black people, we like some of everything. People,
Yes,
black people don't do this, do that. As soon as you say that, there's an exception. So
yes,
that is cool. I like that.
yes. I've been a fan of monster trucks since a little girl.
Mm. I do think it's really cool when they're just crushing stuff. I'm like, wow. Yeah.
That's a great anxiety release. you
Yes.
you overwhelmed and stressed out. Let's go
Mhm.
crush something.
Right. So, you when reading on you and talking to you, that you see you as a transformational life coach and a certified Christian wellness coach.
Yes,
And those
ma'am.
are nice long names. Before we get into this idea of PTSD,
Hmm.
what in the world is a transformational life coach and a certified Christian wellness coach?
A transformational life coach is a coach that helps women transform their lives. I focus on the behavior change aspect of it. We get so caught up in doing things that we were raised to do.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes those things are just not what we need today. Those things, times have changed, but we so stuck in a cycle where my mama did it this way, my grandma did it this way. Well, that don't mean it was right. So we have to unlearn some things and relearn them now. Because a lot of that stuff it was trauma. It was trauma passed down to them from their mothers and their grandmothers, and they just passing that on to us. So I help them transform their lives. And as far as behavior change. Now, the Christian mental wellness coach, it is actually a board certified Christian mental health coach. But when I say mental wellness, I want to help you take care of your entire body, your mind, your body, and your spirit. I don't want to just focus on the mental aspect of it. I want to focus on the physical aspect of it too, because if you're not well physically, that's not good either. Like your body is your temple. So you have to make sure that your body is in order, your mental is in order. And spiritually we do things faith filled through scripture. So in my selfish society, which is my monthly membership, everything is founded in scripture.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Um, I did want to say one thing about mental wellness versus mental health. When we think of mental wellness, it has to do with your whole being. Uh,
Hmm.
Mental health tends to focus on what's not working right and wanting to get it right, but mental wellness says your whole being needs to
Yes.
Be right. Mind,
Yeah.
body, soul, and spirit.
It has to be
So,
aligned. When you align, your entire body is aligned. That mind, body, and spirit is aligned. You could you flow better.
yeah.
Mentally, you're good. That there is. I'm trying to think of the word. It's right down the tip of my tongue, but um, I'm gonna just say you flow better. I'm gonna get it. It's gonna
That
come
is
to
true.
me.
That word, but that is accurate. So, how did you even get started doing this? What prompted you to do this?
So I worked in public health
Mm,
for over 13 years. Well, my previous job for over 13 years, and before that, I worked at UT Southwestern as a peer navigator with youth. But being in public health all of those years and focusing on behavior change,
mhm,
helping people change their minds around their sexual behaviors, it was like, we could do this too, but it was more personal for me. Um, Growing up, I've always been in relationships. I was never the girl to not be in a relationship. I would jump in one relationship and into another relationship.
mhm,
So at the age of 37, I'm thinking 36, 37, I found myself by myself for the very first time. So yeah, literally 10 years ago. So 37, 36, 37. I'm doing the math, so y'all know.
mhm,
Um, I found myself by myself for the first time ever in my adult life.
mm.
I had always been attached to somebody. I never lived by myself. I never paid a bill by myself. I never
Oh,
did anything by myself because
wow.
I always had somebody to depend on. But
Mhm,
when my husband and I um, separated and divorced, I was by myself. I had my babies that I had to take care of, but I had to figure out who I was. I was so used to being attached to somebody. I didn't know my own identity. I didn't have an identity. My identity was wrapped up into relationships and wrapped up into my children and being a wife and being a mother and being all the things till it was like, who are you? Who is Ariska truly? So I
mhm,
went on my own self journey trying to figure out who I was. So that's the main thing behind let's get selfish is trying to identify who you are at the core. When you remove those roles, who are you? What do you like? Because when you've been in relationships, jumping in and out of relationships,
mhm.
do you even know what you like? Because you don't adapt it to everybody else. So let's see what it is you like.
Yeah, and find out who you really are.
Yes.
So you have something called not your typical PTSD. So what does this PTSD stand for?
This PTSD is perfectionism, procrastination, time mismanagement, stagnation, and dwelling on past mistakes.
Perfectionism. What was the other P?
Procrastination,
Mm.
time mismanagement, stagnation, and dwelling on past mistakes.
Ooh. Uh, and that wow, that's a lot. So we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna have to break that down. Now I
Mm-hmm.
know you work with women, um, entrepreneurs and business women,
Yes,
correct?
female entrepreneurs are those aspiring to be entrepreneurs.
And one of the things I can see is that these could apply to anybody.
Yes.
Anybody, anyone can have that perfectionism. Lord knows we all can procrastinate. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. Okay, today
Mm-hmm.
is tomorrow. Well, I'm gonna do it
Mm-hmm.
another tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Time mismanagement. So and dwelling on past mistakes. So let's break. Can you break those four down? And as I said, I definitely understand you work with entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs, and but I think these could apply to anybody. So
They
let's do.
definitely can, and it because we all suffer from those at some point in our lives, like
Mhm.
perfectionism. Perfectionism is a thing, and I say this all the time. We learn perfectionism as kids when we're learning how to write. You know how you had to trace them alphabets in that tablet, and if you didn't trace it properly, you had to erase it and start over. Or in our household, you got popped on the hand, do it over, do it again, erase it and start over, and you sitting at the table crying. That trained us to be perfect. That taught us that everything we do in life must be perfect.
Perfect. And I always like to say, perfect is only a concept.
Yes,
It is not real.
because to whose standard? Whose standard
Mhm.
does it has to be perfect?
Right. Who's defining? Do you have people pushing back when you try to get them out of that perfectionism?
Of course, because they've been doing it for so long. It's
Mhm.
a hard pattern to break. It's a hard pattern to break. But when you're in business, it's your business suffers.
Right.
Because if you trying to wait for the perfect time to have the perfect product, to have the perfect saying, oh my messaging has to be perfect, my
Hmm.
product has to be perfect, what I how I represent how I pour this out needs to be perfect. If everything has to be perfect before you put it out,
Then that-
nobody's not going to even know you have a business.
right.
At that point, like, does it even matter?
Right. It won't get out there because it will never be perfect.
Never.
Like
And
I
I
said.
always say, just put it out there, and you could always refine it. You could always go back and
Hmm.
tweak it, and refine it as you go. I've been refining this business since I started it.
Hmm. And that's the way it is because we are always getting better, but it doesn't need to be perfect. Yeah, I hear that expression, practice makes perfect. I
Hmm.
would say that's actually false. It's practice makes better.
Yeah, and you know what? I just said that the other day, and it makes practice doesn't make perfect. It makes you disciplined, and it gives you consistency.
Hmm. But it doesn't make you perfect
It does
because
not make you perfect.
perfect is a concept. Like I say, this is something I can see with men and women.
Hmm.
Gotta be perfect. But the next P, procrastination.
Ooh, child. Procrastination. We all procrastinate. There is something that we all put off to the last minute to do. It's always something that we don't want to do. And
Hmm.
that's just in life. Like, I'ma just wait till the last minute to do it. Prime example with the weather that we getting ready to have, the winter storm that's coming. A lot of people will wait. Some people may not be in the stores today. Some of them gonna wait till tomorrow to get out and go to the stores. But a lot of people waited till today. They've been talking about the winter storm since last weekend,
Hmm.
letting us know that it was coming. But everybody procrastinated and waited till the last minute. Now all the stores are packed and crowded. There's none of the products they want. They done brought out all the meat. They done brought out all the things
Hmm.
that you typically go and buy. Now you can't find it. The
Right.
gas stations is packed. So now you waiting 30, 40 minutes to get to the gas pump because you could have filled up on Monday because
Right.
again, you knew the storm was coming.
When you think about procrastination, not even an excuse, but sometimes we have so much on our plate we can't get it done. And which would probably go into time mismanaging now I think about it. But
Mhm.
we put so much on our plate, we can't get it done. So I'll put this off, but I'll do this. And you have to make choices when the issue is you can't do it all. I tell people don't have your daily to-do list that has 20 things on it because you're not going to do 20.
No, no. I tell just put your top 3 to 5 on now
Mhm.
and do the most minute thing first because you knock off the minor thing first and you work it that way. That way the bigger thing is the last thing on your list and that way you could have the more time to work on it. That way
Mhm.
the little small projects are done and
So,
you have to focus on the big thing.
so is procrastination something you have to deal with?
Yes, every day.
Okay.
I tell people I may coach on self-sabotage, but I'm a recovering self-sabotager, which means I'm still in recovery.
And it still comes. Yeah,
Eh,
and I do. There are times I'm like, okay, I need to do this, but my procrastination sometimes, but I don't want to.
yeah.
You know, I'll get done the things I really want to do, but there's some things. Oh, okay. But as I said earlier, that procrastination can kind of lead into this time mismanagement. Maybe
Mhm.
you're procrastinating because I don't want to do it or I have too many things on my plate and I got to figure out, so I'm going to put this one off. And putting it off still is procrastination. But I
Yeah.
put it off because I got 20 things on my to do list. Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me about time mismanagement.
Time mismanagement is just what it is, mismanaging your time. You putting everything else on. You already know what you have to do. When we wake up every morning, we kind of like have a plan on what it is that we have to do that day. You have your schedule. And time mismanagement means you doing everything else but what you're supposed to do. So instead of working on that project that you know due in 24 to 48 hours, you scrolling social media, you watching love and hip hop, you gone to the store, you talking to your friends, you doing everything but what you're supposed to do. And then when it's the final hour is when you want to rush and get things done.
Mhm.
And people say, "Oh, I work better under pressure." No, you don't. You stress your nervous system out under pressure.
Mhm. Yes. And
It
that's what people don't realize. And I do know people say, well, I just do better when under pressure. And then those same people will talk about physiological symptoms. I can't eat. I can't do this. You can't eat because my stomach's upset. But that's when I know I'm going to get it done. Well, that is not a healthy way. We are mind, body, and spirit. So, when our mind is not, when we're putting ourselves under that stress, it taxes our body. And it
Mhm.
does. And people will say that and not often see the connection that as you do that, you are really taxing yourself
Yes.
unnecessarily.
Yes. And you training your body to be in that fight and flight mode every time. Every time it's time for something to be a project or a timeline, you training your body to be in that flight mode. Like, I know I got to get it done. I know I got to get it done. So now every time it's time for something to get done, oh, I'm gonna just wait till the last minute. But
Hmm.
then yeah, you're not doing yourself nor your body any justice with time mismanagement.
No. And
So
you
having a plan is what you need to do and work your plan. Don't let the plan work you.
mm. And it definitely does become oh, I just forgot the term I was going to use, a learned behavior.
Yes.
It is. What about dwelling on past mistakes?
Dwelling on past mistakes is when you allow those negative thoughts to get in your head. It's something that you did before and it may have not come out as you thought it was. So now that you're up against it again, you letting those negative thoughts tell you, "Oh, it's not going to be good." Or it's not going to come out right. Or you failed the last time you did it. Why are you doing it again? So you have to reconfigure your mind. You have to train your mind that I know what happened the last time, but that was the last time. That's not
Hmm.
this time. I'm going to get it done this time. And continue to remind yourself and affirm yourself that you could get it done.
Leaving the past in the past.
Yep.
When I look at these symptoms, and they say you work with female entrepreneurs, but these can impact anyone.
Hmm.
I always like to say, now here's the issue, but then what is the solution? What are the help? So let's talk about some ways to manage this. What are some things you teach people you coach?
Um, Having a list, creating a list is with the thing that start. Have your daily schedule. Have it. So my favorite tool to use is the Eisenhower matrix, where I mark off what's urgent, what's not urgent, what I could delegate, and what I don't even need to be doing. Because a lot of stuff that we have on our list is a lot of stuff we don't need to do.
Give me an example of what would be something that someone will put on their list. You don't need to do it. What would that be?
Hmm. Let's see. Call my best friend
Okay.
at 3 o'clock. Now you know you could talk to her anytime during the day, but you know you have a project due at 3 o'clock or at 2 o'clock that you may not even be finished at 3 o'clock. It's like
Mm.
those little minor things that don't even make sense. Oh, I need to fold the laundry. Oh, I need to just household things maybe that could kind of wait. That when you know you have other priorities that's taking place. So focus on the priorities. Too many times we want to worry about the small things and not prioritize the things that are important.
And that
If
seems
that makes
really fit
sense.
with time mismanagement. What
Mhm.
is the priority? And you're right. And people who work from home, that sometimes can be an issue because when you say do the laundry, well, I'm gonna go put. Well, that'll be my break. I need to get up and move, so I'll go put the laundry. I'll put the clothes in the wash machine. Now I'll go put them in the dryer. But the thing is, when you get up to do that, for some, not all, it can be, oh, I passed by it. I'm gonna go do this. You see
Mhm.
something else. And so I can see where having that on your to-do list could be in the way.
Yeah, a distraction. You adding distractions in. You scheduling the distractions at this point. because those are things that you know that you don't need to do. Like for me, I'm up at 5 o'clock every morning. I know that I have to be on a call at 5:30. My baby has to be at school by 8 o'clock. When I make it back home, depending on what day of the week it is, Mondays are my admin days. So I'm gonna
Mhm.
just take Monday for example. I already know what I need to do. I need to work on content. I need to work on emails. I need to work on products, my digital books. I need to work on the selfish society, the things for the selfish society. So I already have my to do list, and I check it off. Like I think I have one right here that I was working on yesterday. Yes, emails, interest forms for thing, presentation for society. So as I was going through, I was checking it off.
How many things are on your list?
This particular list, I was adding things as I was going through. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It was 7 things on this list.
And how many did you start off with?
I think I started off with one, two. I started off with three for sure.
Mhm. And that's the one thing. Once you complete something, it's you add and makes it more
Hmm.
productive. So what's another thing? First thing you said was take things off your list that do not belong.
Yeah,
What's
take them
another
things
tip?
off that don't belong. Delegate it if you have to delegate it. Then well, take it off your list if it don't belong. So just delete it and don't worry about it. Then it's the delegation things. What are the things I could delegate to somebody else? What are the things that I don't have to do? So you don't have to do the laundry. If you have a spouse, the kids, somebody, have them do the laundry. Say, hey, can you put this laundry in a washer for me? Delegate those responsibilities. Take that off your plate because it's
Not
not
yours to
needed.
do.
Yeah, not yours to do. Virtual assistant. If you got a virtual assistant, have your virtual assistant send that email. You don't have to send that email. That's why you have a virtual assistant.
So that brings to mind just being able to use technology that we do have,
Mm-hmm.
which might mean I've got to go learn it. But if you've got to go learn it, the time it takes to learn it will be worth it in the amount of time it's going to save you.
Yes.
So delegate. What
Yes.
else?
Not urgent? What's not urgent? If it's not something that's due within the next 24 hours, it's not urgent.
Mm.
So hold it off for another day. If you could put it off for another day, then that would be next up on your list. But I would say focus on the urgent things first. So for me on this list, and I think this was my list from Monday, as a matter of fact, no, this was my list from Tuesday because Monday we had the MLK Day parade. So Tuesday morning, I had to make Tuesday my admin day, and I
Mm.
didn't create the presentation for my group because we meet every third Tuesday of the month, and I hadn't created the presentation yet. So the presentation was my top priority for that day because I knew we
Mhm.
had class that night, so I had to get the presentation done.
Do you find that the people you work with find that figuring out what's urgent and what's not urgent is difficult?
Sometimes because we want to do everything.
Hmm.
We're so trained and used to doing everything that I got to do this, I got to do that. No, what's important? Focus on the most important thing first.
And I think that's very hard for some people
Yeah.
because it goes back to the perfectionism. I've got to get it right and I've got to do it everything.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, finding out what's urgent. I like the 24-hour rule. If it's not done, that's a priority. If it's done right now. And what about planning? Maybe if I know I have all these things coming up, what is long-term planning? How does that fit?
I say always plan backwards. That's just like
Okay.
your goals. You know what your end goal is, so you
Hmm.
plan backwards from the end goal. Well, my end goal is to get 10 clients by the end of the month. So how am I going to get those 10 clients? So that means you got 4 weeks in every month. You got 31 days in a month. So what are you going to do each day so you can reach that goal by the end of the month? So you plan backwards.
There was years ago, everybody was doing this guy, Stephen Covey, and his thing was begin with the end in mind.
Mhm.
He was a planner, so Stephen Covey planners, the whole bit. It was about 20 years ago. But those concepts are still true.
Still
It's
the
the
same.
same thing.
Mhm.
If I have this is my goal. It's really like setting a goal.
Yeah.
And then you go backwards to see, and that can help. We got time for two more tips.
Okay. Two more tips. Let's see. Give yourself grace.
Mm.
Give yourself grace because everything may not get done on your to-do list, and that's okay. You did what you can within that time frame, and you just pick up where you left off the next day. So what I do is whatever is at the bottom of my list that
Mm.
I was working on last, I put it at the top of my list for the next day because now that becomes a priority.
Mm-hmm.
So give yourself grace. You don't have to get it all done in one day.
Right. And that's one I tell my clients in therapy. Give yourself grace, period. We are often our own worst critic.
Mhm.
We beat up ourselves more than anybody else ever will. And we treat others sometimes better
Better
than
than
we
we
treat
treat
ourselves. We
ourselves.
wouldn't treat
Yes,
somebody, we
ma'am.
wouldn't say things, the things we say to ourselves, we wouldn't say to somebody else.
Yeah, we give everybody else compassion, but we don't give ourselves that same compassion.
Mhm. And so that one goes to so many areas. Give yourself grace.
Yes.
At least treat yourself as good as you treat everybody else. Because
Yes.
too
Because why
often,
you don't think you deserve it?
yeah. And being in business, dealing with entrepreneurs, I would also say, in terms of under that giving yourself grace, don't let the business be more important than you.
Right.
The business. Well, I've gotta prioritize the business. I've got to make money. Got to make it work. But you also have to prioritize yourself.
Yeah. Because your health. I mean, if you go down today or tomorrow, what's gonna happen with the business?
Mm-hmm.
Who gonna
Right.
run the business if you sick? And that was a wake up call for me last year because I was business, business, business. But
Mm-hmm.
when I got sick last year, and I'm the person that keeps going. I'm like the Energizer Bunny. Let me say that I would keep going and going and going and going. But after I got a tear in my rotator cuff and had to
Mm-hmm.
have rotator cuff surgery, and when I went for my follow up, and the doctor told me, well, you had a tear in your bicep where a piece of your bicep ripped off and was down in your arm, and I had to pull it out. And when he showed me the pictures, I was like, "Oh my God, you got to slow down, girl. You doing too much. You doing too much, and you don't even have to." And that is the black woman's theme. We do too much, and we don't have to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We
Yes.
want to be there for everybody. We want to be the strong friend. We want to constantly celebrate everybody and do all the things for everybody, but do those same things for yourself. You don't have to show up for anybody. Show up for
Right.
you. Give yourself that energy.
I
You
always
deserve it and you are worthy of it.
yes. That S we wear on the chest that we think means superwoman. I say, you know what? You're wrong. It stands for silly because it's
Hmm,
silly to believe you can do everything and be everything for everybody. So let it go.
I
Yes.
like that.
Yeah, it's silly. Don't be a silly woman. You're not a superwoman. You're a silly woman. Give
Yeah.
me your last tip. We got time for the last one. One more thing you would say.
Remember to breathe.
Mm,
Remember to breathe. Take some time out if it ain't nothing but a couple of minutes and sit still. Put
mm-hmm.
your hand on your chest and take some deep breaths. Calm your nervous system down. You don't have to be in overdrive all day.
Yes,
Calm yourself down. And that's another thing that we don't do. We don't take the time to breathe.
we don't. Um, each day in the 12 o'clock hour on these same channels that we're on now, I do a midday moment of positivity where we take in 3 deep breaths, we have a positive thought, and we move on. It's like 2 minutes in the middle of the
Mhm.
day to remind everybody to stop. So, those of you who are listening, just come back here tomorrow in the 12 o'clock hour and you'll hear um, it goes live somewhere in the 12 o'clock hour. It just kind of depends on my work schedule.
Mhm.
But it does allow you just to stop and breathe. It's my way to remind us. You're right. Stop and breathe.
Yeah.
Literally,
It,
stop.
it shifts everything. You don't even realize how it shifts your mood. You could be overwhelmed. You could be stressed out. You just stop and breathe. Put your hand on your chest. Close your eyes. Take those 3 deep breaths and calm yourself down.
Hmm.
7 seconds. Give yourself 7 seconds.
It's worth it. Wow, you have told us a lot, and we're going to remember that PTSD of procrastination. I'm sorry, perfection,
Hmm.
procrastination, time mismanagement, and dwelling on the past. Things we don't need to do.
No longer
Um,
serve you.
they right. So my call to action, I always like to end with a call to action, and the call to action is that we remember those things so we don't do them. Giving and summing it up with what we both say is giving yourself grace. You don't have to do everything at one time. And I always say vote, vote, vote. Be an educated voter. Who you vote for can control a lot of things you have to do. One final thing you'd like to say, Ariska?
Life is but a dream. Don't let self sabotage ruin yours.
I like that. Well, thank you for everyone who joined in and drop something in a comment. Let me know what you're thinking and feel free to share. And we'll see you here next week. Have a good one.